To all those above me that watch over me, to all of you, my fave parapeeps on this side of the veil, welcome. I'm Sean Whittington. This is the Paranormal Ministry. I'm a seminarian in the United States Old Catholic Church, and I'm coming to you live from my haunted house, my very haunted house, where I live. Dreamcatcher's not spinning or rocking things. Well, it's spinning a little bit. Things are a little quiet right now, but with my guest today, things could perk up. The spirits in this town know her very well, and I'm going to be bringing her right out here in just a minute. She's in the green room. Let's check the prayer urn. Tom H. from Idaho. Idaho. I don't know if I've ever pulled a question from Idaho before, Tom. I'm retired and disabled, so I watch every show. I can't go anywhere. That's funny. That's funny, Tom.
Isn't that like the same thing you say?
Yeah, he's being funny here. I'm Tom. You got a good sense of humor, and you're in the right place. You must be in your own private Idaho. I'm a God-fearing man, but I have never been baptized. Can you baptize me during the show? I think this has only been requested of me one other time, and all the time I've been doing this show. I most certainly will. But what we're going to do, Tom, is you're going to reach
That was
out to
about
me.
2 months ago, wasn't it? You've had this request like 2 months now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
So, Tom, what we're going to do here is the best I can do in this type of format. But when we're done, I want you to send me a message because I'm going to find you a church, either Catholic or Christian, that will come to you. If you can't get to the church, they'll come to you and get you there. And if it's a Catholic church that are doing baptisms, great. If we have to take you to a Christian church and have them fully submerge you in the holy waters, that's what we'll do. But I'll get it done for you. But I will do something for you here. All you have to do is answer the questions from your heart. Get some holy mist going for you. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. If anybody else wants to answer these questions and get a little on-air baptism going, feel free. Tom, do you reject Satan and all his works and all his empty promises? Do you believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth? Do you believe in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, who was born of the Virgin Mary, was crucified, died and was buried, rose from the dead, and is now seated at the right hand of the Father? Do you believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and life everlasting? As St. John the Baptist baptized our Lord Jesus Christ by the authority given me by God, I baptize you, Tom, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Reach out to me after the show, Tom. We're going to get you to a church, okay? Alrighty. I am not going to check the mailbag today. I'll tell you why. I'm just now springing this on her. But I'm going to open up the chat room to anybody that wants to comment on anything we're talking about, ask their own questions of either I and my guest. But I pulled all the questions out, wrote them down. We're going to do a paranormal Q&A with my guest today because she's the perfect person to do that with. So that's what we're going to do. If there's anything you want to know about my wife and I and our ministry work, go to our website, www.ghost-b-gone.biz. When you go there to visit, remember, my wife and I don't charge for our ministry work, helping people with their paranormal issues. So if you go there to visit, I know times are tough, brothers and sisters, but if you see the donate button and you're able to do so, click on it and send my ministry in a small donation. I promise you, it'll be appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. And trust me, we'll put it to good use. I'm also a certified spiritual advisor. So, if you're having issues of a spiritual nature not attached to the paranormal and you'd like to make an appointment to speak with me, there's a place on the website to do that. But don't leave without navigating over to the page called Introduction to Spiritual Warfare Course/book. On that page, you'll find the Ghost Store. Lots of cool things to buy. And proceeds from anything you get in the Ghost Store go to causes I support. But scroll down past all that stuff, and you will not only see my first, but my second book that just came out. God Ghosts in the Paranormal Ministry, God Ghosts in the Paranormal Ministry 2. Twice the rev, twice the fun. You can pick up both books there at the website. They come to you autographed, enclosed in a house blessing kit. You can get it a little less expensive at Amazon, but they'll come to you from Amazon and they won't be autographed or you won't get the house blessing kit. But my publisher used to call the first book the scariest book she ever published. She now has changed that up and says the second book's even scarier. So the first book, I believe, is haunted. Second book, yes, pretty scary stories about true demonic cases that I worked. So buyer beware. But if you're passionate about that field, these are must buys. So for all of you that have already purchased the book, God bless you. And scroll a little bit further past the books, you'll see the Introduction to Spiritual Warfare course. I offer a 12-week online course, and it's exactly what it is, Introduction to Spiritual Warfare. Through my eyes, what I've experienced, what I've seen, how I've dealt with it, and how you can avoid being visited by, God forbid, true evil. If it ever comes calling, you also need to know how to draw your line in the sand, make a stand, circle the wagons, and put up a good fight against true evil. So that's the course for you if you're interested in that field. No, it's not going to teach you how to be an exorcist. That's a completely different calling. But all my students that graduate get a stunning diploma, certificate of completion, suited for framing, along with some other very special blessed gifts that you can only get from yours truly. Most importantly, if you want more reading about the course before making that type of commitment, there is a Introduction to Spiritual Warfare course Facebook page, or just call me. We'll talk about the course, see if it's right for you. Please keep all of my former, current, and future students in your prayers. Okay. What else do I want to tell you guys? Nothing else other than I'm excited to have my guest on tonight. I've known her a long time. I love her. I respect her. We've gone on many a paranormal investigation and a ghost hunt together back in the day. And it's been a while since she's been on the show. She's an author. She's an elite ghost hunter, really talented, knowledgeable Ghostbuster. And you all know her, you all love her. Welcome to the show, Vegas's own, and I'm going to butcher her last name, Linda Masanimptewa.
Get him, Linda. Get him.
Did I come close that time?
Yeah, it's close.
Okay. Hello, you. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing much better now that you're on. You look very pretty tonight. You sound great. No audio issues. And I know that you also live in a haunted house, and you've had your fair share of issues. And so sometimes you never know if we're going to have technical difficulties of a spiritual nature. How have things been at your house?
It's not as bad as it used to be. Like it actually, I think I've seen full operations going through my house. But then as people help me try to close that, the door, keep them from doing that so much. So I haven't seen too much, going through like I used to, like it was it several years ago. But still once in a while. you know, things happen. It's kind of weird.
I know you live by yourself. Well,
Yeah.
as far as anybody else alive. I'm going to ask you a weird question. I wasn't planning on asking you this, but I'm going to ask you now.
Okay.
We all have day jobs. I mean, I am a man of God 24/7, but you know, I am a technician at an animal hospital part-time. My wife's an office manager at the same animal hospital. I know you're a cook at the Air Force Base here in town, which I love that. Very cool. So here I'm gonna run the scenario past you, and you just answer the best you can. Let's say you have your dream date over the house. Let's say Zach Baggins is at your house, your dream date, and you have to. You know he's a foodie, and you have to cook him Linda's knock your socks off, get your ghost on killer meal. What would that be?
Probably something like steak or something, like a pot roast, or I'm pretty good at that. Like a steak and maybe mashed potatoes or something. Kind of basic, you
Men
know.
love meat. Men love
I
meat. You
guess.
can't go wrong with meat. And both those, I'm a big steak guy. I love steak. Like, I'm also really into like fajitas, steak fajitas and carne asada, but I like a good steak. I haven't had a really good steak in a long time. Pot roast, oh my gosh, my wife makes the I don't know anybody who's ever made a pot roast for me. Well, Mom, yours was the best. I have to tell my mom that. But Sharon makes a great pot roast. She also makes wonderful porchettas. So there you have it. And I'm sure Zach would love your pot roast or your steak, and you would be on his next episode.
I'm a fat guy. I love it all.
Yeah.
Oh, the other Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
yeah.
Zach. Never mind.
Oh, I just got that. He's quick. He's quick. Well, this is what we're going to do today. You probably heard me in the green room. We spoke a few days ago. I said, is there anything you want to talk about? First, I want to let everybody know what your website is. If Zach wants to throw your website up there and show everybody a couple of quick pictures of your page or your books, great. You've got a couple of wonderful books out. They've done well. You've got, I don't know, at last count, several thousand followers on one of your Facebook pages. That's amazing. You've been doing your thing for a long time. What's in the works as far as that goes? Are you got another book in the makings, or are you kind of taking a break from the authorship?
Well, I've started several, and it's just taking me a long time to finish because I started working a lot. I think that's the main reason. Then the pandemic hit, and I stopped traveling because everything closed up for a while. It's sort of like the motivation stopped, sort of. I mean, not to write, but to put the stories out there. I think that was the main reason. And then when it started to open, I was still going back to work because I have 2 jobs during the certain times of the year. So it's hard.
That's right. You also were a tax person.
Yeah, for a company. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it here.
Oh yeah, yeah. I get you.
Ask.
I get you.
I mean, but it's a big company.
You do a lot of things. Very talented person. You've been in the paranormal field for a long time. I'm going to tell you before we, just so everybody knows, I took all the questions out of my mailbag today. That's why I didn't read no questions out of there. And so I just thought I would make this a paranormal Q&A with you. There's no one better than you for me to do this with. And I'll let everybody know watching. The chat room's open if you have a question for Linda or myself, or you want to comment on anything we're talking about. We'll try to address that. But it's just going to be, the questions that have been thrown at me, I'll throw at you. There's no wrong answers here. But I want to talk about 3 of my favorite memories of you. And if you have one of me, you can. But I remember back in the day, you were part of the team that always gave the ghost tours at the Pioneer Saloon. You've been on many, many ghost hunts there. I've been with you ghost hunting there. And here's the place is legit and haunted off the charts. I remember one time You and I were in the saloon. You had the smoke machine going. We had somebody there that was being very oppressed by an entity, and you caught the most. I should have gave all these photos to Zach to load up, but you caught one of the most interesting photos of what appears to be something coming through the smoke at me.
Which it looked like a face or something, like a skeletal type face.
Pretty amazing.
It was
pretty amazing. And then I took one of you. We were I believe we were away from the saloon. We were walking to one of the other haunted locations. And I took a photo of you standing I'm already in the assessor's shed, and I've turned around, taking a picture of you. You're in the doorway, clearly standing behind you, taller than you, is some dark presence, and you could see its eyes.
Yeah, looking
in, but standing right by you. That was pretty amazing. And then I remember the night we had the dinner with the ghost, and we were all in the saloon. We were there having dinner, inviting the ghosts to come and join us for dinner and stuff. And we were talking about how usually when I'm there, I have that spirit of that young boy comes up, and I can always tell because he holds my hand. And then sometimes, like little kids do, he will jump on your back like a piggyback ride. You took an amazing photo. You were sitting right across from me at dinner. You took an amazing photo of what appears to be a ghost child walking right up on top of the dinner table. Pretty amazing. You have an uncanny ability to take phenomenal ghost photos, and I know one of your books has a lot of those photos in there. And then we had the most amazing experience at the Apache Hotel.
Yeah.
First of all, we were in the dark. We couldn't see our hand in front of our face. We had these little pin lights to make sure we wouldn't, fall down an elevator shaft or something. But we kept walking by this one room. We heard somebody in the room coughing. We thought it was one of the people on the tour. Finally, when I tried to go in, I walk up to this person who won't let me in the door. And then when I go to touch the person, I realize it's not a real person. I introduced myself. I asked for permission to come in. I didn't know at first that you had followed me in. And then I heard rattling. The nightstand between the two beds was rattling. I opened up the drawer. Do I still have that? Somewhere here, I still have that. Yeah, I still have that Bible.
Yeah.
The nightstand is shaking. And I open up the drawer, and there's this Bible sitting in there. I felt clearly like I was being gifted this Bible. I asked the guy, "Is this Bible yours? Did you read it much? Do you mind if I take it?" I open it up. Don't know. Watch where I open it up to. Don't watch where I put my finger. But then when I read the scripture, it totally talked about a priest, which I thought was amazing. They were, the people that ran the tour were nice enough to let me take the Bible. So I'm going to just now shut up for a while because I've been talking too much. Talk to me about your years there at the Pioneer Saloon, any of your good or bad memories, any opinions on why they don't do it anymore. And then talk to me maybe a little bit about your experiences at the Apache Hotel, because you've been there a lot and people can't get in there and investigate.
No,
and then,
either one.
Yeah, either one. And then I will start hitting you with some questions.
Okay, well, the Pioneer, it just sort of, I saw the Ghost Adventure show where they went out there and investigated. I said, oh, this looks interesting, because I was really into it. And then I had a friend from Canada. She found the tour on the van that takes you out there. Not the actual one we were doing at the time, but before that was the tour. So I did that with her. So she was showing me how to work the equipment, because they don't have any at the time, So let's do it together. I like the hands-on kind of thing. I said, okay. So we took them all through. And that's the first time I ever had experience there at the Pioneer Saloon. We were sitting at the table, and the tour guy said, okay, Annie, just pick a chair. He don't say, you sit there, whatever. But I'm just going to let you just pick your own chair. It's like something's going to happen. That's what he's getting ready. And then we had pizza. I got up, got my pizza. I turned around. The only chair left was this one chair kind of next to him, the tour guy. So I came back and I sat down. He goes, ha ha. And then all of a sudden he reveals, I don't want to scare nobody, but every time a woman sits in that chair, she gets touched, her hair gets touched, some kind of on her body, she feels like somebody's touching her. And, so then he turned to me, let me know if you feel anything or anything. maybe it won't happen, maybe it will, we don't know. So he just continues on with his tour, and I'm just sitting there, and I had this hoodie jacket on, and I had pushed the sleeves up a little bit while I was sitting there. And all of a sudden, I feel this little thing on my arm, like a touch, and I thought it was a moth or something. I kind of looked down, and it wasn't. There's nothing there. It just kept going, and it went under my sleeve. And the hoodie was on the skin. It was going up my arm. It was going up to my, up here. And then I said, "Oh, someone's touching me." He goes, "You see, I told you." Like the tour guy every time. And then he goes, "Here, let me get him off you," or whatever. Tell him to back off. And he, like a firm voice. He said, "Okay, stop that. That's enough. She recognized you. Just back off. Or whatever." So that stopped. That was the first time I ever had anything like that happen to me out there. And I said, "Oh my God." So later on, that's when Noel, the former owner, he had the haunted lockdown tours. So I found out about that online. I said, "Oh, hey, I'm going to try this. Since I had that experience, I'm going to do all the tours. Now then that's why I met him." And I had another experience at that day. I heard like Indian music in the background, like far away, like they do the chanting with the drums, like drumming song, but nobody else could hear it. And I said, "Nobody." I'm sitting at the bar, we're just talking. I said, "You don't hear that?" And she goes, "No, nobody." And everybody got real quiet. They're trying to listen, but I could hear like don, the don, like the drumming, like you hear powwows, and then it just stopped. And then he was like, "Oh, I think they like you. There's a lot of Indian spirits. There used to be Indian reservation out here."
Your father was indigenous.
Yeah. And then the Spanish trail was right there. And he says, lots of stuff happened. I think they like you. And no. So he says, then he started inviting me back. And that's how I became part of their team, sort of. That's how it started. And then after that, I brought my friend, a coworker. I said, "Hey, you need to come out here," because she's into that thing too, her and her son. And so we went out there, and then we were leaving. I saw a full-on apparition go walk in front of that window that's in front of the saloon part, where you can look in, you can see the saloon half. It was a young man holding his arm. He looked like he was hurt or something. And he was going towards Noel, who was still in the building with his friend, Robert Allen. They were talking in the gift shop. So I go run inside, and I said, "Hey," banging on the door because it was already closed. And I said, "Hey, no, I think one of your workers is hurt." He goes, "What?" It's closed. There's nobody there. He goes, "Okay, just because you said that, I'm going to go in and check. But you stay here and you watch me through the window. I'm going to go in and look around." So he went through the whole building, the Lombard room, and he came out. He goes, "There's nobody here. It's locked." It's like, "I don't have no workers here." He goes, "Ooh," he goes, "Oh, you saw a full-on, ghost." He said, "I think you saw a full-on ghost." He goes, "Ooh," So then that's how another thing I started with the team, because he said, "Oh, they must like you because they're showing themselves to you." I mean, that kind of thing. And then I found out later that my friend, who I took with me, the next day or next time we worked, she was thanking me for taking her or inviting her out with her son, and she started crying. She had like an emotional thing happen to her. She goes, I always wanted to get really close with my son. He has like a kind of, he's learning disabled or slow learner, but he says have never seen him get so excited and awake or whatever, because he was so into ghosts and he was experiencing everything together. He's like, we bonded so well that night, and I want to thank you for inviting me out there. I said, I've never seen my son like that, because he was like, both of them were like, ooh, with the little ghost meters and everything, and getting into it and stuff. She goes, I've never had a bonding experience like that with my son before. So it was like an emotional thing for her. She was out crying at work. So thank you. I mean, a lot of people go there, have that kind of emotional thing out there. I don't know why, what causes that, or that's like a family type thing when you come back, and that's why they just keep coming back, returning visits and stuff to do the tours and stuff, I think. So that was kind of a good thing that would happen.
That's beautiful. Yeah, me too. Every time I've gone there, I remember there was a woman, an indigenous woman, walking back and forth in front of the saloon in the street, and there was I forget her name, but there was another gifted psychic there who was saying that she wanted to talk to me.
Yeah.
So I went out there. I didn't get any message or anything, but I don't know if it was that night, but I think it was. If it wasn't that night, it was the following night. I wake up in the middle of the night and I see Sharon standing at the end of our hallway. I'm looking right down the hallway from the bed on my side. I can see her standing at the end of the hallway. And she didn't move. She's there for a long time. I'm like, well, why isn't she coming to bed or going into the bathroom? Maybe she's, it's dark in here. Maybe she's disoriented. Well, I'm going to get up and help her. Well, as I'm getting up to help her, my elbow bumps her. She's still sleeping behind me. So I got up, I walked in there, and it was the same indigenous woman that I saw at the Pioneer Saloon. And I just got this feeling that I needed to come back there and bless the place, but I didn't know what to bless. So it took me about 3 months, and we saw her several times. Sharon and I both saw her several times in the home, and that little kid followed us home. He wasn't bothering the dogs or bothering us, so I didn't bother him. I felt bad for the little kid. I didn't want to say, you need to get out of here. But then I said, Sharon, we need to go out there and bless Good Springs. She goes, bless Good Springs, the whole town? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to bless, but this woman wants me to bless something. We started at the cemetery, we did the saloon, and we just drove around very slowly the town. And where I felt I needed to stop, I just got right out of the car and would bless that area of the road. Sharon took a couple of photos, got a couple of interesting, like, mists, right? High noon in the middle of the desert in the summer, but there's mists above me. But I did the whole town, or a lot of it, and came home, and we never saw her again. And I figured that must have been what she wanted, and she now felt at rest for some reason. Because I know there was a brothel there too, but if she wasn't a prostitute, I know that there was indigenous living out there, but they wouldn't let women in the bars. No. So women had to stay outside in the street and wait for their significant other or their husband or whatever to come out of the bar, or wait for people to retrieve groceries for them and stuff. So I don't know. It was just a very interesting situation. Why don't they, do you have any information on why they don't do the ghost thing anymore there?
I think because the owner changed. It's not Noel anymore. The new owner took over, and he kind of stopped it for a while. I think because he's so new, he just wanted to get settled in with his business. A lot of people were asking, well, why don't you have the ghost thing, But, I think because new owner changed hands, he's not so much into the ghost thing. He's more for, like, the living, like the people who actually live there and the customers. But I did hear he's kind of opening up to it, because I've seen online on Instagram, his page, the Pioneer Saloon, he did an interview with two of the locals, and he was asking them. He made a video of it. Do you think this is haunted? I heard this is a haunted, saloon. He goes, oh yeah, it is haunted. We see things moving, and they were talking about their experiences and stuff. But he didn't say anything about having a ghost hunt there or anything like that. I heard from another person there is a team out there, but he's not sure who they are, and I don't see any people, doing it. That the one we were doing, the haunted lockdown in the bar. I've seen another tour group from town that's restarted the van tour, but I'm not sure who's doing it or if they're actually doing it yet, because they're advertising you can do that, but they would take you out there like I did the first time. So maybe it's starting over again. I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, that's a wonderful place to go and just even hang out. I'm going to now take us over to the Apache Hotel, which no one gets to investigate. I was so happy for Brian that he was able to set that up where you go in with his team to investigate the Apache Hotel. I was so sad when they stopped doing it. It didn't last very long, but you did quite a few of those. What would you like to tell people about the Apache Hotel, and if you had any favorite, really memorable spirit memories there?
Yeah, so I don't have any physical, anything physical happen to me, like touching and all that, because it was a short span of time that they were allowed to be in there. I mean, you have to go there a lot, you start getting a lot more experiences like that kind. It's just I would do a lot of audio recordings and videos and take pictures and stuff. I didn't get too much on film, but I did get a lot of audio EVPs, and that was like kind of like wild. The first night we were there, I had the recorder going. I think David or Brian, somebody was talking about the stories and stuff, the history, and you could hear loudly. There's a telephone ringing in the background, not like a cell phone, but like a ring, like an old-fashioned dial phone, like ding, and it's kind of loud on the recording. But nobody is paying attention. He just keeps talking, and everybody's quiet, just listening, and nobody's making
There's no
mentioning.
power up
you know,
there.
no, it's all dark, and it's just ding.
There's no phones.
No, there's no phone, no active phone.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't hear it either. I just kept going. I'm thinking, I didn't hear it till later on when I was listening to recordings. That, and there was a baby crying at one point. I heard a baby crying on there, but it kind of near the elevator area. And again, nobody noticed it. Everybody just kind of ignoring it, and that thing, and that kind of thing. And then the next few times I went, I think I went 2 more times or so. I went into the room that his wife passed away in. I think his nickname was Birdie or something. Birdie, I'm not sure, but they said that's her room back there. So I have the recording. I can hear a woman talking on the EVP, but you can't understand. It's really low and it's whispery, but it's a female talking to me. I was asking questions, or somebody was asking questions. It might be a brother, but it was like you can hear a recording talking to us, something.
Well, I know they don't really do the ghost thing there, but did they open that hotel up where you can actually get a room and stay?
Yes, and I think they do let you go in there. They have their own thing going on, their own little. If you run to the rooms in the Haunted Apache and you sign up, there is like a short ghost tour kind of thing. I'm not sure if they let you go in there in the closed parts, but they do like a history kind of walkthrough.
Yeah, I thought the place was amazing. To be honest with you, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of dark, no lights or anything.
Yeah, I just got a really cool vibe from being in there. I thought it was really cool, and that area of town is just that's old Vegas.
That's really old, from like early 1900s, maybe from the beginning of Vegas, pretty much.
Well, I know you know what I'm going to say about the Indian drumming. It was definitely meant for you because your father is indigenous. May he rest in peace. And your mother, I love telling people this story. Your mother is Japanese. May she rest in peace. From Japan.
Yeah.
Your father was in the service, and he was overseas serving in Japan. Met your mother.
Yeah.
Neither one of them spoke each other's language, but they knew how to speak through the international language of love. And they worked it out, and they got married, and had 2 wonderful children. Do you have other siblings other than you and your brother?
Well, I have my sister. I had 2 brothers. One passed away already. And then I have Dennis and my sister, but they have different mothers.
How's Dennis doing?
Oh, he's fine. He's retired. He don't want to work anymore.
Because you guys were L&D spirit seekers.
Yeah.
And before the pandemic, I mean, I saw you guys one time. You guys went to London, and every time I got on Facebook, you guys are up north. You went to some really interesting.
Oh yeah, Tonopah. We
did
that Tonopah. That was fun.
You guys haven't gone out in a long time. Is L&D still doing stuff?
Sort of. He's kind of slowing down. I think he's sort of slowing down. He doesn't totally stop because I was supposed to go in August to Arizona to do a guest speaker thing in Tucson.
Very cool.
First time they're going to do the Tucson Paracon. They're going to keep it kind of small. So that is the first year they're going to do it. So she's trying to see if is there any interest in it, So afterwards, we're going to investigate the Fox Theater. She told me it's extremely haunted. People see apparitions, dark shadows, and stuff like that. I said, "Oh, okay. It'll be fun. Then I can get you in certain places that other people can't get into."
Are they going to advertise that?
Well, she is sort of already on Facebook. It's kind of slow going because
it's going to be called the Arizona Paracon?
No, it's Tucson Paracon.
Tucson Paracon.
Hey, Linda, just to let you know that, you know what, it's always a little slow. I mean, Sean knew about a show that he was part of for about a year and a half before we were able to tell anybody about it. So
that's what it's with her. She goes, don't tell nobody, So they finalize everything, make sure everything's set.
Sometimes it takes a little longer to be able to tell everybody about what you're doing. So keep it, just hang in there.
I'm going to look that up because that's not so far from us.
Yeah, I can actually, because I'm going to drive myself. I took off extra days from work just so I can do this.
Do you like doing that stuff? I know you've done it before. Do you like speaking at these events?
So this might be the first time I've actually guest speaker in front of everybody. I've been asked before, but it never really went through because they didn't really need extra people. So they have other people. It's it's okay. I'll just hang out. So so this is the first time. I think she's giving me 30 minutes.
That's going to be very, very cool. If Sharon and I can make it, we'll try our best because that's not far from us. And she has family down there. Her mother and one of her daughters is down there. So we may.
So, but it's only one day though. It's a 1 day event. The 19th, from the morning until then, there's going to be a night investigation. Then that's it.
Very, very cool.
Because she's just trying it out, I think.
Your parents were very special. Do you ever, I know there's been times where you thought you had visitations from them too. Do you still occasionally get that?
Yeah. Right after my mom, or not right after, but after my mom died, I have her cats. We had 4 cats total. One was kind of mine, always attached to me, and the other 3 were hers. So I was taking care of all 4, and just, I was practicing my EVP with the recorder in the house, and they were sitting there in front of me. So I said, "Hey, Cha-Cha." That one cat was Cha-Cha. She's my ghost hunter cat of the family. She's not afraid of anything, people or ghosts. So she's sitting there, and I go, "Oh, Cha-Cha." And I had the recorder on. Then I sat there for a while. Then I listened later. I hear in the background, it sounds like her voice, but it's kind of weak. Like the energy is gone, saying Cha-Cha. Like that. But it sounded like her. Cha-Cha, like that. So I think she was kind of there. I think it was her. But with her now, it's more like cigarette smell. Because I can recognize the cigarettes she used to smoke. And it's usually in just certain parts of the house. So I have a picture on like a mantle kind of thing. Her picture. Not her ashes, but just her picture. And that's where I usually smell when I walk by, like somebody smoking a cigarette.
That's very cool. Of course. They're in visitation. That's very cool. Well, listen, are you ready for me to throw some questions at you? These are all questions that have come into me various ways. People leave them in a text message or private message on Facebook or email, and then I just write them down, and then I rip them off the piece of paper and I throw them into the mailbag. And these were questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions that I pulled out of the bag, usually paranormal questions. No wrong answer here. You've been doing this for a long time. I thought I would get your opinion. If I was sick and you were co-hosting my show today, you'd have to do these questions anyway. So here we go. I guess, and people are already going to know what your answer is going to be when I do some of these. So the first question is, do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
And you know what part 2 is? It says, what are ghosts?
What are ghosts? Ghosts to me is like a really general name for everything. Ghosts could be anything, like people or whatever, animals, ghosts, spirits. To me, ghosts is more like human. People have passed away and are human. They come back and they come visit you or something like that. Like elementals or things like that. They're not really people. I don't want to call them a ghost because they have different categories or different energy. Like elementals are like more from Earth. They're not really human, but they came from a long time ago, and they come from the nature or something. The land and stuff. And of course, the other things that are really negative, that aren't really people. I don't call them ghosts either. They're other spirits, or the negative. And then angels are not really people either. To me, they're just higher energy forms that come to you. So I wouldn't call that a ghost. So ghost to me is just human spirit or animals or people who have had physical bodies and they left and they just come back. Maybe.
Do you buy into? Do you think it's all strictly just visitation, or do you think some do get stuck here, and do you also buy into the residual?
Oh, the repeated one? Yeah, yes. Residual could be, maybe not really intelligent. It's just the energy. So I have a story about that too, about me. So, I can tell you really fast about that one.
Sure.
But residual is just like a repeated energy stomp or whatever, stuck, kind of like a record. I kind of believe in that. And of course, visitations, and I don't know about the be stuck thing. Maybe they have it in mind as a purpose. They need to be here. So technically not really stuck, like somebody's holding them back, maybe. Like they can't let them go, or they can't get out of here. But I think they have something on their mind that they have to take care of. Like there's unfinished business, or so they just keep coming back. And unfortunately, it's like so many hundreds of years later. There's no way to actually complete it by now. But they sort of come back like that, kind of like a repeated one, but with intelligence and things like that. So
okay, let me. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me ask you a real quick question. Can ghosts tell time? You said sometimes it'll take hundreds of years and still it won't be there. Can they tell time? Did they realize, oh my God, I've been in this plane for 300 years now. What am I doing wrong? Or is it? Did they not?
I don't think so.
Well, I'm sorry.
I don't. To my opinion is I don't think they can tell time because they don't have clocks. I mean, themselves, they just come back for the feeling, the emotion part. I mean, wherever something happens, like to them or something really bad, or they just get attached, sort of, to the.
Yeah,
to
I
the
think that'd be a really bad thing if you sat there and you saw a ghost sitting there going.
I know. Like they have no watch. Yeah, come on. So
yeah, I've had people that have lived many years in really spirit infested locations that say, the spirit on the third floor knows that the spirit on the first floor is here, but they don't like each other. And the spirit on the fifth floor never goes to the attic because there's another spirit up there that's angry all the time, but they're all from different eras. Yeah. And I've had people say ghosts will come to them and look at them like they're wearing strange attire because they're from a different time. So I think they don't have any sense of time, but they're aware of things have changed.
Or the emotions, or they can tell other energy, like you say, they know something there, but they don't like their energy or something. But I don't think they know time. I mean, there's no way for them to keep track anymore. To me,
I think it's weird. We talked briefly about if you have a good residual story, great. I have a great one, but I have a friend that sees this ghost just kind of float up in the air through his living room, and upon research, the house was rebuilt over a couple of times, and where this ghost is walking, there used to be a staircase.
Yeah.
So the ghost still sees or feels or thinks there's a staircase there.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that is what you would refer to as residual. Yeah, but I've also debunked them too. I mean, Sharon and I were at a house where this woman was seen walking through the bowling alley. They had a bomb shelter that they turned into a bowling alley underneath the home. And this woman would walk down one of the bowling lanes, up this secret staircase into this secret entrance into the bar, and then walk across the ballroom and then on wherever else she went. Yeah. But Sharon's walking up behind me one time, and I've got, I'm filming, and, she's walking right up behind me in the bowling alley. I stop to turn around to see what she wants. I'm face to face with this woman. And she stops walking. And we're just staring at each other. It was probably 5 seconds, but it felt like a minute. And I don't know what to say or do because it's caught me so off guard. Why I did this, I don't know. But I moved out of the way. Yeah. As soon as I moved out of the way, she continued walking. And I followed her on her path. I obviously had to open up that secret door because she just went through the wall. But I'm taking photos in the ballroom. Where'd she go? And later on, me and Sharon are reviewing evidence. And the pillars that came down in the ballroom from the ceiling were all mirrored. And I caught the reflection of her in one of the mirrors going up a staircase to like the beauty parlor in the mansion. But have you experienced personally any examples of residual?
Yeah, like I was going to tell you really fast. I'm not sure if this is residual or if it's energy something, but it happened to me. So a long time ago, I used to work at this bar on the base. It's called Time Out Sports Lounge. And I was back there washing dishes, and I was in a hurry, and I forgot to put the mats down, the rubber mats to keep you from falling. And I was turning around trying to hurry up, put the stuff away. And then I slipped and fell. And I grabbed the shelves trying to stop myself from falling. And it knocked all these pots and pans off the shelves on me. and I landed on my back. And that's one time I went to the hospital because I cut my head open. One of these things hit me in the head. The manager said, "Oh, go to the hospital," and blah blah. And it was loud, right? The banging of the pots and pans and stuff was hitting the floor. And then fast forward to about like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ahead of that, after that. So I was opening the kitchen, the same place, and here comes the higher up, the supervisor manager. He wanted to talk to my boss. So he was coming through the kitchen. He just, hi, Linda, hi. And as soon as he turned out of the corner, you hear that same exact sound that I had when I fell down. You hear all the pots and pans. It was loud. It was bang, bang, bang. You know, it sounded like me again, but without my voice. It was just the pots and pans. And he heard it too. And this guy, he turned around like, what's that? And he runs into the area where I was washing dishes, and nothing. It was like, nothing on the ground. It was nothing. It was like never happened. He come out, he's scratching his head like, that sounds like somebody hurt himself, falling bad. Like he was totally confused, and he walked off. And I said, oh, I didn't want to say anything, but to him at the time, he was so confused. That I think it was me again, but just the energy part was causing that sound. I don't understand how that happened. Do you think that's a residual, or is that just something going?
I don't know. That's odd.
That was so weird. That's the only time it happened.
I worked in kitchens long enough where I would have had to point to the other guy. It was him. So I've had to pay for enough broken dishes that you just automatically point towards something else. So I love that story.
That's a great story. Who knows? That base has been there a long time. And there's so much emotion around things that happen at an Air Force base. I would imagine there's a lot of history there, a lot of residual and still intelligent hanging around there. So yeah, very, very cool. Okay, next question. Can spirits kill?
I don't know. So I guess some people who get attached and it makes their depressed, or the living person maybe causes massive depression or sickness maybe, or something like that. Maybe in that way they can. I'm not sure, unless you get scared to death, something really scares you, get a heart attack or something like that. I'm not sure if ghosts or if people can kill you outright. I mean, it takes a while, I think. You would think.
Well, I'm guilty of telling people all the time. People ask me, what's the difference between a regular haunt and a demonic case? And I always tell people, your life, the demonic are out to kill you. Disembodied human spirits are just trying to be noticed, need help, or have a message. But I feel thinking on it, there can be a ghost can be pretty mad. And you hear people getting pushed downstairs. Maybe they don't intend to kill the person, but sometimes people fall down the stairs, they die. I think they can get physical enough to hurt you. I don't think the intent there is to kill. I think it's probably more to scare, maybe hurt, but not to kill. Right. But
chase you out. I guess you just chase out.
That's a very interesting question. I don't like to disrespect spirits. I try to respect them because they're just people. They just don't have a body any longer. Don't we all like to be respected? Okay, here's a good one. I'm asked it all the time, so I'm going to ask you this, and you can always tell me to pass. What are demons? First of all, do you believe in demons?
Yeah, I believe in the negative, if that's demons or something. I kind of believe in that because you can't have all good and then have no bad. I mean, there's always back and forth, like a yin yang thing. And it has like a balance, sort of. It's just it's kind of hard to differentiate between the two unless something happens, Absolutely. How can you tell if it's angel or demon unless you get scratched or something's attacking you at night, or then there's obviously a negative. I mean, it's not really nurturing or helping you. It's scaring you or making your life, like that kind of thing or something upside down.
Do you believe these extremely malevolent and negative energies can kill you?
Yeah, possibly. So I just go by my experiences. So one time at work, I had the shoulder thing. It's called lock shoulder, frozen shoulder. Some women get it. when you can't lift your arm higher than this. It's because I lift a lot of weights over my head that's too heavy or something, whatever. That's what the doctor said. But he says older women get it. So when I was towards the right in the middle of doing this, the procedure to unlock it, and I was at work, and I just happened to look down, and there was like this dark ball or some dark mass. So it came out from around here, and it went into my shoulder. It came like this around my chest, and it went right in there. And then I started feeling pain. I was like, oh man, So I just went home and took some more pain medicine. I didn't think about it, but I was asking people, oh, you better get cleansed or do sage or something, trying to get that off you, because that's possible, I guess. I mean, if it's something dark and it went there and it started getting, pain, it could be something that's trying to
very interesting.
make it more worse. So
did you get your problem fixed?
Yeah, it's gone now. Then it went from here to this side. Then the doctor said, well, that happens. I said, so great. It was like sometimes then both sides happen at the same time. Oh man. So that's fixed now, but it took a while. And then I saw that, then that scared me.
Here's a good one. You're going to like this one. You and I have both been to our fair share of seances over the years. I don't really go to them anymore. What do you think about, and I'm not judging anybody, so don't, all you Ouija people out there, don't send me hate mail, but what do you think about the Ouija board or any of those spirit communication boards?
So the Ouija, I had a bad experience, I guess, when I was really young. I didn't know what it was or anything, and I had a neighbor doing it, her teenage daughter, and then she conjured something or whatever, brought something out that shouldn't be, and she didn't know what she was doing. I guess she was on drugs or something, teenagers. Yeah. And then I'm not sure what it caused, if that caused my depression or something. I was really young when I went into a heavy depression. It was fine until then. I'm not sure if that's related or what, it was just me or something, or my age or whatever, but caused a depression. Then I came out of it. It took a while for me to get out. And then I work. So I was telling my coworker, because she has one, she likes to use it in her house because she has something in there. She's trying to find out who it is, a military wife. So she offered to bring it to work, and she was, she didn't do it right. You're supposed to open it and close it with prayers and, surround yourself with, the good stuff, the good spirits, not like that. You're conjuring something dark, like, come through, whatever. So I said, well, I don't know. I'm kind of freaked out already from that experience. She goes, oh, let me show you. So she brought it. We're doing it together, and she did a lot of prayers, lit candles and stuff. And then this is how you close it. And you had to do the same prayers, and tell people to stop, we're closing now and don't, you can't come through anymore and stuff, But right before we closed it, I looked up, and there was like a whole bunch of black crows sitting outside in our patio. I did it at work. It was a big window there. You can't come inside, but there's a whole bunch of blackbirds sitting on the patio, furniture, just sitting there looking at us. I said, oh my God, look at that. And there was 2 other people there. They're looking. I'm like, oh, they all freaked out. Like, oh my God. They're like, ooh, we're scared. So then she closed it totally. And then we looked up, all the birds are gone. They all flew. They're gone. I said, wow, it's that. So other people's opinion was maybe that was the spirits. They're trying to communicate with you. But because you had that ring around you, the safety, for not to cross over unless you're asked to come in or whatever. And they think they just left. They were trying to talk to you, but because it was, all the prayers and stuff saved you or something. But that's why, so I kind of believe in the Ouija board. But I guess I'm not sure if it's my own belief fueling it, to make things happen, because I believe in it sort of in my energy and stuff. Or, some people use it. They don't have anything, no experiences or anything happens. But that thing was moving. I mean, we were doing it. They're trying to find out who it was and stuff. So, I mean, maybe that's what it is. Your own energy putting into it. So I don't know.
Well, I would just advise, and I think if you want to add anything to this, fine. I just tell people, I get people coming to me all the time. I don't know why, wanting advice on, I'm really passionate about the paranormal. I want to become a Ghostbuster or a paranormal investigator or start a team. What do you recommend? And I always say, I really don't recommend unless you're really, really passionate about the paranormal and you're going into it for the good reason, the good reason to help people or get answers because you're experiencing stuff, fine. But most importantly, respect the locations, respect the spirits, and be careful and don't provoke. Regardless of what's there, don't provoke. And but I still get most of the people that reach out to me for help are these new ghost hunters out there that are not going out there without any training. They go to the wrong place at the wrong time. They say and do the wrong thing. They end up with an attachment. Now they're calling me. I have 2 or 3 more questions left, but I got to say goodbye to you. But I will have you back. I'm going to have you back. What's the date on the Paracon in Arizona?
Oh, August 19th.
August, June, July, August. Maybe I'll have you back either right. I think I'll have you back after you go. So you can tell us all about it, especially if Sharon and I are able to get down there. We'll throw some stories back and forth, but I'll look at my calendar as soon as the show's done. I'll throw some dates at you. In fact, I think I may be only doing 2 Mondays a month starting in August, the second Monday and last Monday of the month. But I can always give you a Monday if that's better. But I know I have 2 or 3 Fridays still open, but I'll throw some dates at you in August, and we'll try to get you on after you get back from the Paracon, and we'll talk ghosts.
Yeah, so I'm going to take my camera, of course, and my recorder in case I'm going, and I'll ask my brother to go with me, but he's not
Very
sure.
cool.
But so if I catch anything, film or whatever, I'll send you a link or send you a copy.
Very
so
cool.
That way if you come back on and talk about it, I can show you, or you can display it on the screen what I'm talking about if I catch anything.
You have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful remainder of your Monday evening. I love you. I respect you. And we have to do this more often. Be careful when you're in Arizona, but you and I talk all the time, so I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yeah, okay.
All right, Linda, I'll see you later.
Okay, bye. Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Good night. I love her.
So get this, Sean. In the chat, I just found out that one of your somebody who's been commenting quite a bit on your stuff, Jennifer Bailey, she lives right here in Greeley, Colorado.
Well, there you go. Poor Jennifer.
I know, that close to me. Sure. And
I wish you would have talked to me first about telling you that she lives near you. Oh, Jennifer.
Yeah, she can probably, feel the evil from wherever she's at. So, yeah, very, very yes, Jennifer. This is a true statement. If there's ever been a true statement, it's an interesting town.
Yeah,
reality is a town of its own. So, reality is a town of its own. So, Jennifer, hopefully we'll get together soon and we'll talk.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jennifer is a new found friend of mine through the United States Old Catholic Church. And she's seems very cool. Hopefully I get to meet her in person one of these days. Thank you all for taking the money out of your busy Monday evenings to spend with me. I will be here. You guys are really going to love Friday's show. Friday, June 9th. The husband and wife spirit channeling team, world-renowned spirit channeling team of Barry and Connie Strom. They will be here this Friday, the 9th. Thank you to Zach and Adrian Clayton for co-producing my show. I couldn't do it without them. CommunityPayItForward.us. Just go there. That's all I'm going to say. Go there. Check it out. United States Old Catholic Church, USOCC.org, the church I belong to. If you're interested in Bible study, which is every Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. Pacific and Wednesday afternoon at 5 p.m. Pacific, the best thing to do is just stay here on Facebook. Go to the United States Old Catholic Church Clergy and Parishioners Facebook page. It's always live streamed there. If you're interested in Bible study, that's every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Go to bishopjameslong.com. Scroll down to the bottom of his homepage. The link to Spreaker and Tonight Prayer is there. Just click on it. Takes you to Night Prayer. Thank you to Things Network. Thank you to Temple of Phoenix Rising Entertainment. Thank you to Skeleton Key Network. Thank you to PACT, Little P, capital ACT, Podcasting for All Coming Together channel, for all these networks simulcasting my show, and BeInspiredRadio.net. Chicky Hot, the rock psychic. That's her radio network. She re-airs audio re-airs of my episodes Saturdays all day. And there's a lot of other cool things there too, like reruns of old Art Bell shows and a lot of other really cool shows there. So check BeInspiredRadio.net out. Eli Roth presents The Legion of Exorcists, the new horror paranormal reality TV show. Airs on Thursday nights at 10 p.m. on Travel Channel, Discovery Plus, and Max. Check that show out. I hear good things about the show. Too scary for me to watch, but I hear good things. Okay, bad joke time. I'm going to pull a bad joke out of a haunted carnival barker hat, a bad joke that one of you sent in, and it's my poor attempt to put a smile on everybody's face before I say goodbye and good night. This is a long one. What is the difference between a poorly dressed man on a bicycle or a tricycle and a well-dressed man on a bicycle? Okay, let me do this again. What's the difference between a poorly dressed man on a tricycle and a well-dressed man on a bicycle? Attire. Good night, Danny. Good night, Jack. Good night, Dog. Good night, Harold. Rest in peace. Good night, Ernie. Good night, Bill. Good night, Dan. I love you all. God bless you all. Peace.